Hi, third graders. Today we're looking at math, page 277 to start with. Today's paper is just reviewing line of symmetry, similar and congruent shapes, and also the slide, flip, and turn. Okay, so these are just terms and words we're using to describe shapes and the relationships. Let's start out today with line of symmetry. The first two shapes, we have a picnic basket and a stop sign. They want us to trace the line of symmetry. Now, sometimes a shape can have more than one. Well, let's look at the picnic basket. What about the picnic basket? Okay, we know that there's at least one. Are there more than one in this one? No, number one, the picnic basket only has one line of symmetry. They want us to trace it. The other ones we're going to leave alone. So here, if I were to fold that in half, the right and left side would match up along the red line. So that is the line of symmetry for the picnic basket. Let's look at the octagon, though, the stop sign. In this one, we have more than one line of symmetry. So check that one out. Which one of those would work? Right? So we have, obviously, this one would work, right? If I fold the right and left over, is there another line of symmetry? Because this octagon is equilateral, all of them are exactly the same length, you could actually fold it here. This would be a line of symmetry, right? And oddly enough, if we folded it here, we would end up with a line of symmetry also. Okay, so all three of those are a line of symmetry. The easiest one is the vertical line or the horizontal one. The diagonal one is a little harder to see. So I would expect you to have at least caught one of those. For number 3 and 4, we get to draw the line. If I was to draw a line of symmetry for that shape, where would it go? Well, in the pair, is it going to be a vertical line or a horizontal line? Remember, horizontal goes across. If I divided it here, would the top and bottom match? It wouldn't. So in this one, again, we're going to do the vertical line just like the picnic basket. Now, we have to exclude the stem because the stem wouldn't work there. But the line of symmetry, with the exception of the stem, would be right down the center of that pair. And the right and left sides would match up. Number 4, we have a violin. Would our line of symmetry be vertical like the pair, or is it going to be horizontal and go across if I want to match them up? In this one, the line is horizontal. So I'm using some more of those geometry words from our previous chapter where we talked about lines. But the line of symmetry for this shape is, again, right down the middle, but the line is horizontal. So obviously, if the violin was going the other way, it would. So hopefully this just kind of makes sense. We're visually dividing it exactly in half to where both halves are exactly the same and would line up. The next section, we are comparing the two shapes that they give us. The problem we have with this one is number 7. They forgot to draw the shapes, at least on my workbook page. I don't have one. And they're actually diamonds on that one. But obviously there's nothing to do for this one. So just leave that one blank. Let's look at the two balls here. The circles, they look like balls with lines on them. Are they similar or congruent? Well, it was a long weekend. Maybe you forgot. Similar describes shapes it's the same shape. Congruent means that it's the same shape and exactly the same size. Are these circles the exact same size? They're not. So we can only describe them as being similar. What about these two triangles? Well, they're both triangles, so I know they're similar. Are they congruent? Are the triangles the same size? They are. They're kind of tricky here though, right? They're not going in the same direction. They're opposite, but they are still congruent. Their orientation doesn't matter. What does matter is they're the same shape and the same size. All right. Again, that one we had to skip because, at least on my page, if it showed up on yours, they would be congruent. But they're not on my paper. For number 8 here, we have two ovals, right? So they're both ovals, but are they the same size? No, this one's bigger than that one. So I cannot say they're congruent. Instead, you would describe them as being similar. Again, this one you're like, it seems that's pretty straightforward, but this is just a building block. Remember that. A building block for geometry that you're going to study later on. So we're just laying some of these foundations, some of these words for you to get used to and familiar with. So when you have them later on, it won't be such a big deal. The next section, they give us 4 groups of pictures, and they want us to describe whether a slide, a flip, or a turn happened. Okay, so in the first one, we have an arrow in the first picture. In the second picture, the arrow has changed. It has turned. So this is described as a turn. It's just pivoting. It's just turning a little bit. Oh, I'm losing my board here. What about number 10? We have a slice of bread with jam on it. And then the next picture, there's no jam. What happened here, right? It got flipped over. This is the back. This is the front, and this is the back. So, like I said, it's a flip. Okay. What about the ice cream cone? Right side up, upside down. Yeah, this is a turn. All right, it's a turn, right? We spun it around there. What about this one? It's the same picture, isn't it? It's just like we duplicated it and we slid it over. So this is a slide. Whoops, sorry about that. Oop, I'm trying to look through my screen and write. Didn't do a good job there. Slide. We just took a second picture and we just slide it to the side. One more in this section. We are practicing drawing an array. Mom is laying 1-foot carpet squares in the dining room. The floor measures 10 feet wide and 12 feet long. Okay, so we're trying to find the area. When we're finding area is equal to the length times the width. Right? So, what's the length? Well, the length is 12 feet. What's the width? So we know that it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 wide and 12. Right? So you would color in all of this just like the array. These are all the carpet squares. Your pencil will do a much better job than my marker today. Or crayon, you could grab a crayon to do that. So we're going to multiply 12 times 10. And that will give us our square footage of carpet squares. Well, any number times 10, we take the 12 and we just add a 0 in the ones place. So 120 square feet. Right? Again, here we're doing feet and we're counting the squares. So I have to say square feet. So the answer to this one is 120 square feet. And you should have shaded in with either your pencil or a crayon the array, which is 10 on the side and 12 all the way across. We're bringing in some review there for us. I hope you did a great job. I'm sure you did. And check out the next video. We'll do the back. All right. See you next time. Bye.